Hello, my name is Matthew O'Brien, and I have a YouTube channel that talks about how math turns up in everyday life and cool, unexpected results. So today I'm going to apply my math skills to making Super Bowl predictions. So I wrote a Monte Carlo program, which is a program that uses random numbers to sample distributions to try to predict what's going to happen in the Super Bowl. And I ran the simulation 10 million times. So I had the Chiefs and the 49ers play 10 million times and just kind of statistically see what happens. So I'm going to give you the bottom line first, right away. So it's a very, very close game. My prediction is saying the 49ers will beat the Chiefs, but it's only a 51.4% chance. So it's very, very close. Too close to bet, but if you're a gambling type, I'm predicting the 49ers. But there is a little bit more information in the over-under. The current over-under is 54.5 points, and I'm predicting an over-under closer to 60. So at the current over-under, I'm saying there's about a 61% chance that we will exceed the over-under. So go ahead and bet the over-under if you're comfortable with a 61% chance of winning. And then the last comment is on the Super Bowl squares game. The 49ers at 7 and Chiefs at 7 is the best grid with a 3.6% chance of winning, and then there's some other hot spots that I've listed there. 7 and 0 and 4 are also hot spots where your chances are 3% or close to 3%. So that's the summary. Now, if you're interested, I'll talk to you a little bit about the details of this simulation and how I came up with these conclusions. So here's the results of these 10 million simulations, and every game they played, we counted how often was there a particular point difference. And we see that it's very symmetric around 0. So it's almost like half and half. Half the time the Chiefs win, half the time the 49ers win. So there's not really a strong signal here. And you'll see that this graph looks kind of noisy. You might think that was noise due to the random sampling of my simulation, but it's not. It's because in football, the scores are, you jump around by like 3 points or 7 points. So because you jump around like this, the point difference takes this weird shape where 1 point difference, it's not necessarily smooth and continuous because of this jumping around. This is converged in a statistical sense. So then if we integrate this thing, we'll see that the 49ers have a very slight advantage. I'm predicting them to win at the 50% probability of just less than 1 point. The 49ers will win, which is not strong enough for me to bet, but if you're a gambling type, then bet on the 49ers. I did the same thing with the over-under. What is the sum of the two scores? The current over-under is at 54.5. I'm predicting an over-under of around 60, so I'm predicting that it will exceed that. And if we look at the integral of that, at the current over-under, I'm saying about 61% of the time the game will exceed 54.5, and my over-under, the 50-50 point, is about 60 points according to my prediction. And the next thing I want to talk about is Super Bowl squares, where you have this grid where the columns are the last digit of the NFC, and say the rows are the last digit of the AFC. So there's 10 possible last digits, 0 through 9. So there's 100 total squares. And say one way to play would be everybody pays, each square is $1. You buy as many squares as you like. And at the end of the game, whatever the last digit of the score is, you find which grid that is, and that person wins $100. One wrinkle to it is sometimes they shuffle up the rows and columns. They don't label the rows and columns, so you don't know what you're going to be. But if you do know what the rows and columns are, I'll tell you where the best place to bet is. So for the previous 53 Super Bowls, I just tallied it up. Where was the final score of the game? And it turns out the NFC 7 and the AFC 4, that happened 5 times for the last digit of the score of the previous 53 Super Bowls. But you say, well, maybe that's not a good prediction for this Super Bowl. Maybe we want to know specifically for the Chiefs and the 49ers. So I looked at all of their regular season and postseason games for this year and said, okay, how many times did they kick 1 field goal per game, 2 field goals per game, 3 field goals per game, 4 field goals, etc. for all the different point categories, touchdowns, 6-point touchdowns, safeties, 8-point touchdowns, etc. And so I'm sampling these distributions in this Monte Carlo program and kind of seeing what happens. So this is perhaps the best prediction of what the hottest Super Bowl square is. And this one is saying 7-7. Chiefs 7, 49ers 7 has a 3.6% chance. And the 4-7 is also hot here at 3.1% chance. And it turns out the 21 hottest squares have over a 50% chance of winning. So if you could buy 21 squares, that's only going to cost you $21, and your expected winnings are $50. Because you have a 50% chance of winning $100. So I thought that was a pretty cool application of the Monte Carlo method, where we're using statistical sampling and random numbers to play this game over and over and over and see what happens. So the game is going to be really close. It's only 51% chance that the 49ers will win, but there was a 61% chance that the over-under will be exceeded, according to this simulation. And if you like my channel, please subscribe to it. Please share it, show it to your friends. I have a lot of videos where you say, oh wow, that was really cool. I didn't expect it to turn out that way. And I just enjoy doing it. And I'll answer your comments and questions. And thank you very much.